do this, you can't do that, you have to behave like this, so you're legit. She goes, because the other ones that come in here that are overweight, how are they?
That really grinds my gears, makes my knuckles turn white at that comment. Like, we're in 2026. Do we not know that by now?
Like, body shaming is the lowest form of humanity. Or shaming is the lowest form of humanity. For women, it's just something you don't do, right? Like, women just struggle with that alone. But shaming, there's no need for it. Why are we shaming?
This is Keep It Clear. Real conversations about skin, acne, and women's health without the overwhelm. Because you deserve answers that actually make sense. Today's episode starts now. I hope our listeners are ready for a spicy, unfiltered Katie and Cris today. I'm a little nervous for them.
I love spicy unfiltered.
I'm gonna try real hard not to swear, okay? Because in day-to-day life, Cris and I swear quite a bit. But we try to keep it to a minimum. So I'm gonna do my best not to get fired up enough for a let an F-bomb or two go. But I'm gonna do my best.
Okay. So what do we've each picked. And this was not our topic today.
This was not our topic today.
This is how Cris and Katie come up with topics. We're sitting here with a whole bunch of topic ideas because thank you, listeners. You give it to us. And then I go to the fridge, I grab a green bean, I come back, and I say, you know what really irritates me?
It's like, what is it today?
What is it today? I'm like, no, listen, let me tell you.
This is what I hate.
This drives me nuts. And it's because I was teaching and I happened to see the book on my desk. And I was like, you know what I really don't like? Because I remember teaching yesterday and I don't always agree with the books when I'm teaching. So there was something in there that really irritated me and it kind of spiraled. And then I said, okay, what's your top irritant?
I was like, well, hold my beer.
Yeah. So then Katie just said, okay, listen, we've been talking about this for 5 minutes. Let's just go on air.
We should just use this as our topic today.
Let's go. So we're here.
And it's what are our top annoyances in the health and wellness space?
Yep. Let's do it.
When did you first start working in the health and wellness space? Let's just set this up because we're not new here, you guys. We're not spring chickens.
So I started before my accreditation.
Same.
When the kids were not so well. So I'm probably at least 15 years.
I would say I first started getting into this space mid-university, late university. And then I started working for Julie Daniluk, another nutritionist here in Canada, in 2015. And then I went back to school in 2014 is when I first went back to school. So I've been in this space for, again, probably the same time as you.
Yeah.
Ooh, us. We're aging ourselves. All right. So we're going to share with you we're each going to share two of our top annoyances and pet peeves and things that just grind our gears in the health and wellness space. Do you want to go first?
No, go because you're in it.
First?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I have two, but the one I want to start with, and Cris and I were like, I share what my annoyances were with Cris, and she's like, oh, let's break this down. It's actually deeper than that. So one of my big pet peeves is when I see on social media, health and wellness practitioners or influencers, they're like, here's my 3-hour routine. I do this every single day. It is 46 steps. It makes me feel like this. This is how great I feel. Here's my before and afters. And then I see the comments and it is all of these people feeling inadequate, saying, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. I don't have the time. And really what this goes down to is people think that in order to be healthy, they need to do a 3-hour routine with 86 steps and spend thousands of dollars every single morning in order to be healthy, or there's nothing that they can do. And so it makes people feel less than. It makes people feel inadequate. And making people feel inadequate is something that I do not like. I want everyone to feel like they can be healthy and they are adequate and they are worthy and they can do these things. Because a 3-hour routine like that is not realistic for the average person. Like you're a stay-at-home wellness influencer, that is your job to do olive oil shots and do ginger juices and do all of this every single, amazing. I love that for you. But I hate when people think that that's the vision of health that they need to be held, that they need to attain.
Yeah, so it's the persona of if you don't do what I do, you'll never achieve what I have. Everybody has that, right? You've scrolled and you saw somebody and they're like, have this beautiful mansion. It's in Costa Rica. It's over the mountains. It's like, and I worked 2 hours a day. Well, honey, good on you. I love that for you. I love that for you. Would I like a piece of that little swimming pool? Yes, I would. Could I figure it out? Maybe. Is that my path? I don't know. Right? We tend not to even have those conversations with ourselves. We're just like, I want that so much. The neighbor gets a new car. What do you want? You want a new car, right? Or people, oh my gosh, my kids come home and they're like, I went to so-and-so's house and their house was just gorgeous. And I like looking around my house. I'm like, what's wrong with mine?
You got a nice house though. What is wrong with these kids?
What's happening here? They're like, Mom, it's just like so basic boring. It's just so you. It's just like, you know, you just like everything that, right?
Because you don't like things on the counters.
That's Katie's pet peeve number two.
It's my being Chris. I'm like, where are all your appliances? Like, where are they?
They're put away, okay, because that's where they're supposed to be. But again, these inadequacies in the health and wellness is not everything's going to work for you. Not everything is going to be plotted for you. Everything about health and wellness is meeting people where they are, pulling them out a little bit, allowing them to catch up, and keeping that procession going. The difference is if we have a gap, and we can do this, and we give a lifestyle stack, and we go like this, and we go like this, and then all of a sudden, we go like this, it's not reciprocated, but we're not told, and then we do this again, or sometimes we do it.
Well, the people that can't see, so the people that are watching on YouTube, she's like stacking things, her hands on top of each other, right? We're adding this, and then we're adding that, and then we're adding this.
And we space it, so every single time we have a position, we put a new position a little bit further from your reach, pull you a little bit outside that comfort zone. You catch us. Now we're equal again. Then we pull out again, and then you come back up and you catch us again. The thing is if we do that a couple times and we don't get communicated to, we don't know really what's going on with you, right? Because like all this judgment, it's like you think you have to do this to get that achievement, and you're struggling so hardcore, and there's judgment. Then the thing is we've gone out one or two comforts, and the gap is large now. So where do you think the mental psyche of that person is?
Not good.
Not good. It's not attainable. I can't catch up. What's a point?
I guess I'm stuck like this forever. I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the support to do this. Because we don't all live the same lives, right? Especially if you are, some people are working 3 jobs. They're a single parent. They are a caregiver to their family. They're working crazy hours. We don't all have this ease in our day that allows us. I remember recently, Chris, when Paige was like, "Hey, let's have 2 meetings a week at 8:30 in the morning," and that's what works for her schedule. Like, all right, we'll just do it. And we did this for a couple months, and neither Chris or I knew that we were like struggling because like Chris and I have little kids. We're getting our kids out the door. I'm making lunches. Chris is making sure like her kids have shoes. Like we're making sure everything's happening. And then we're running to like meet. Chris and I are always late. One of us is always late to this meeting. And Paige is like sitting there with her matcha. Da 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 da. And we finally were like, Paige, this 8:30 a.m. meeting is not working for us. We can't do it. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, why don't you guys just wake up earlier? And I was like, I'm gonna throw a brick through your window. Like, what do you mean wake up earlier? That doesn't work in a house with children.
Yeah, and mine are essentially self-sufficient, but there's constant parts moving, right? So being on a meeting and being embraced into that meeting is also not listening to 2 kids squabble over whose shorts those belong to, or come on, hurry up, we're gonna be late, or
the bus is here.
It's just a lot of commotion in the morning, right? Not like, I mean, I'm usually working at 8:30, probably about 20 after 8, quarter after 8. I mean, I wake up, I actually go through all my messages before I leave my bed. And my husband rolled over the other day and he's like, touching your phone is a bad habit in the morning. And I'm like,
oh, thanks, Steve.
I said, yeah, when I get all these messages, now I can go through my morning and I don't worry about if I don't get to them till 9:30, right? Because there was an emergency or something happened. Just always those what ifs. So I said, this is actually my calming routine. This is part of the routine I've built where I feel the best, most productive, right?
Absolutely.
So it's these small things. And again, that doesn't maybe work for Katie, right? She's waiting until she gets in because once she's in, she knows she's not leaving.
For hours on end.
For hours. So yeah, that's the exact thing. So the irritant is in the health and wellness space is a lot of people preach that they do it all But a lot of it's a facade too, because I can tell you right now,
They're not doing that every day.
I have not been following balanced meals lately. I, on the weekends, don't drink enough water sometimes. When we're traveling, because we're in travel season, right? We're coming out of travel season, but we're in travel season, meaning like comps and all of these different things. That alters your schedule. That alters is my house clean? Well, like my house is always clean, let's be honest. But my house is not Cris clean.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Right? Like people can come into my house at all times. I'm never embarrassed. However, it's still not Cris clean. So there's things we have to look at and say, what fits into our lifestyle? It doesn't mean we give clients or ourselves pass not to do it. We say, hey, you know what? I've been doing this for 3, 4, 5 days. Oh my gosh, 2 weeks. Remember that aha kind of like approach? And we're like, whoa, this isn't working anymore. Then it doesn't fit your lifestyle. So we have to make small tweaks. But it is irritating because who's getting what endorsement? Who's getting paid to say what? You watch that too. Like I don't get paid to say things. So when whatever comes out of my mouth is pretty on me.
Speaking of that, let's move into your top pet peeve. And then we'll go back to my second one.
Affirmations.
Oh, Chris Brown. You're upsetting a lot of people with that one.
They make my lip curl. They make my toes curl. I start frothing at the mouth.
Let's explain why.
Okay, if they're working for you, good on you. But remember, I'm talking health space. I'm talking general. Reason is I do not love affirmations. And I can clinically say this because it's not like I've had 10 files, not even 500 files, like thousands of files. Affirmations work the least for any one person. And that is why. And when we're told as part of a stack that you have to get your affirmations and you have to say, you are beautiful. Good morning, gorgeous. You know, especially with acne, you are a pillar of health. Well, you just learned that you're not a pillar of health, right? You understand, you're educated. You're telling yourself something that the body has to now process as true or false. And if you have acne, do you think that I am gorgeous is going to fly in 99.9% of the cases?
There might be that rare person where they're like, yeah, no, I know I'm beautiful despite my acne. But for the majority of people with acne, they don't feel like that. It feels like a lie when they're saying it to themselves.
Yeah, so I find affirmations support a lie.
And what's really interesting, I've been seeing more and more in the manifestation space because affirmations are part of that manifestation, law of attraction, frequency, vibration, energy space. So if you're into affirmations, you most likely know about all this stuff. And a good friend of mine, Kathleen Cameron, she's really big in the manifestation space. And she's been talking a lot recently about how she's dropped affirmations. She doesn't believe in them anymore because if you are having to tell yourself the same thing over and over and over and over again, then you're not living in that frequency and vibration of knowing, which I thought was a really interesting angle.
Boom. Okay, so see, I'm not on planet 7043.
I've seen this more and more in this space.
I have felt this about affirmations from the first time I was introduced to them, and I think that was in 2009.
Oh, I've grew up with affirmations. My parents had me reading The Secret when I was like 12.
Yeah, no, I've always been like, what is this voodoo stuff? And always being in that manifestation state or, going to a course or taking some kind of fun thing. And I'm like, I could never get into it. So I always felt, oh, maybe I can't do the manifestation. Maybe I can't holistically get involved. But really, I think what I was doing is just discerning it as we're asking people to lie to themselves is what we're doing. And for me, that's so irritating. Instead, I say, what about an affirmation? Form it as a question. Maybe it gets the brain working if we want. What about not worrying about it so much? Because again, if you have to continually keep telling yourself, I am beautiful.
I'm going to punch the screen on that one.
But if you have to keep telling yourself that I am beautiful, why do you have to keep telling yourself? Because if you're beautiful, you would feel it. You would own it, and you would never have to tell yourself.
I've really come at this like law of attraction, manifestation, feeling better type of thing from an energy vibration stance. So I've been more into visualization. So spending those few moments in the morning or before bed and going through like a 5-10 minute visualization of the goals that I want to achieve and like feeling the feelings of that wish fulfilled, because that's going to bring your vibrational state into an equal match with the vibrational state that you're after. And, you know, this is actual science. It's not just woo-woo random stuff. It's like when a vibration matches, they attract.
Exactly. And this is how you have friends.
Me?
I'm
or
not,
you?
no, period. People. This is why. So I often say, like, I read people, which I can.
I can confirm.
So, however, even if I'm reading, I'm also have a predisposition. Fair? Now, different. If I'm standing beside somebody, I'm like, whoa. Sometimes it's just like, whoa. And like, you've seen it too. And I think I've said this before. I was standing beside somebody at gymnastics when the kids were wee, and I was just like, oh. And she just looks at me and I said, I am so sorry. I have to move away from you. And she's like, pardon? I said, there is something going on with you right now that is so compressed. My chest hurts. I feel like my lungs are going to explode. And later on, she's like, how did you know? Who told you? I said, how did I know what? Like, what is going on there? Yeah. So husband was cheating. She caught. Like, it was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing.
I couldn't stand beside her. That's vibration.
That is it. And another example is, have you ever been somewhere where, you know, you just have this feeling of like, oh, I just like need to look over here. And then you see like a friend of yours and it's like, because your energies are connecting. Like that happened to me on the weekend. I went into my favorite local brunch place to like pick up takeout. And I just had this weird feeling. I looked over my shoulder and one of my best friends was like sitting in the corner having lunch. And I was like, gosh, like I was like just here picking random things up. But it's like because you're matching that energy and that vibration.
Yeah, 100%. So, you know, we can talk about like energy vampires, all that. But listen, at the end of the day, affirmations in the health and wellness is, I call it a false lie, right? And because we're saying it in a positive manner, you know, I teach it and it says, yeah, we need to do this. It builds clients' motivation and this. Really? Because I see the opposite. I see people doubting their ability. I see people coming in just holding on to a straw and saying, Cris, I'm doing my affirmations every single day. It's just so hard. What's hard about it? Well, I'm not getting any change, but I keep telling myself the affirmation. And then, you know, some people say, just get a new affirmation. Doesn't work like that. Instead, I say, then be honest with yourself. Go into the mirror and say, oh, hello, acne. You're ugly. I don't like you. Doesn't represent who I am. Just let you know, I'm here for you. But acne, you need to get going. And I'm showing up every day to get rid of you. Mm-hmm. Right? It doesn't have to be, of course, that harsh, but do you know what I mean? Like, the acne is not you. Mm-hmm. So just know that you don't have to own it. And if you're telling yourself that, you know, I mean, it's kind of like talk therapy, no different. If you are repeating the exact same thing over and over and over again, that talk therapy has not addressed and released.
Agreed. I think talk therapy can be incredibly helpful for people, maybe in the right circumstance, in the right scenario. For me, I had tried like over a decade of talk therapy, of different types of talk therapy, and I still didn't feel like all of my traumas are still there. I just haven't been able to properly work through them. I think ayahuasca is my next jump.
Well, no, and I also think like when we were talking about this and like we're getting all fired up, is, you know, you were like, oh, the influencer. And I was just like, is it the influencer? And you're like, no, I have nothing against the influencer. Like we walked through that. And I said, or is it, would you love 3 hours in your day to be able to just pamper? Yes, I would. And I was like, okay. And then we went through the comments and I said, it's about inadequacy.
Yeah, it's about making people feel inadequate.
And then if we even kept further, which we won't, inadequacy is that like a demon? See? Tell me I don't love my work.
She does. She loves this stuff. I swear to God.
I can like do this till the cows come home. I can do it with strangers. I can do it on the street. Yeah, like there's going to be a lot. But this is why I love this, is because it's a vibrational thing.
Yeah.
Why? It's because I can also read people because of that vibration, because I allow myself to sit. I'm not the best at everything. I don't know everything. But you know what? It took me 47 years to say, oh my gosh, you're smart.
I've been telling you this forever, Cris.
I had suppliers tell me that. They're like, nobody thinks like you. And I was just like, okay, awkward. I couldn't take a compliment.
She hates compliments.
So if you can't take a compliment, how are you going to believe it, right? So that again. So that's, I just want to say affirmations, everybody, if they're working for you, hands to you. Everybody else, guess what? Here's your free pass. Don't lie to yourself. Set the truth free.
Chris is on her soapbox. Stay with that one.
There we go.
That's Chris's new motto. Okay. I got another pet peeve of mine. Do we want to go into it?
Yeah.
Okay. In the health and wellness space, we're supposed to be a space of like positivity and empowerment and support. And sometimes it can get toxic AF with the fact that if you are in the health and wellness space, if you are not living perfectly, 100% perfectly healthy in another person's eyes, obviously, then you have no worth, you have no merit, you don't know what you're talking about, you're worthless, you should not be listened to. And it's like you, especially as someone who has a platform and a big following and gets awful, shitty comments here and there. I think when people have this preconceived notion that because you are into health and wellness that you have to be perfect across the board. It's like, okay, well, you have to eat organic, you have to drink like, do this, you can't do that, you have to behave like this. And it's like you veer off path and you're like, oh, like I remember being terrified for like a full year and a half that I got gel nails and got my nails done. And then I was going to be like right through the coals about it. Like beside myself, upset. I'm like, I'm a nutritionist, but like I get my nails done and people aren't like, it was just all of these like, what was the word we decided it was, Chris?
Inadequate.
It comes back to being inadequate. And it's like, but I'm a big believer that you should have balance in your life, that just because you're into health and wellness or a health practitioner doesn't mean you can't have balance. Because like I go online and I see, like I don't drink alcohol, but I go online, I see some health and wellness practitioners. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll drink alcohol on the weekend. I'll have a glass of wine on the weekend. But that's something like I would never do. So it's like finding that balance where it's like other people feel like they can have that balance. But if you're not doing the same balance they are, then it doesn't matter.
Well, in health and wellness, it's supposed to be a kindness.
It's supposed to be kind, and people are mean, cruel.
And maybe we're wrong. Maybe that's just something we've come up with to say, health and wellness. I guess maybe we're trying to say is holistic, to be whole. Then kindness has to follow that. Am I always kind? No. Katie can also confirm.
Can confirm.
I am not always kind. However, again, I promise that even though it doesn't come out nice, I always have someone's best interest or I would not waste breath. I just wouldn't. Like, so it's like that. And it's just like coming back and it's just like, what do you want out of this? I always say to people, if you're going to leave a nasty comment, what do you want? Everybody wants something. What do you want to be heard? So for the next nasty comment you get, just say, what do you want to share? Like, and they're like, because if they go after, I went to the grocery store, it was an organic grocery store, right? It was all of this stuff. And I said, hey, can I get 2 of these and heat it? I can't remember whatever it was I was ordering. And she says, I don't know. She's asked me, how's your day and stuff. Oh, I guess I had asked a question in all Cris fashion. She's like, what do you do? So it's an organic, it has health food, it has supplements, right? She goes, what do you do? I said, holistic nutritionist. She goes, yes, I picked up on that because the way you were saying X, Y, Z. And she goes, and I can tell. She goes, because you're thin. So you're legit. She goes, because the other ones that come in here that are overweight, how are they? And I was just like, whoa.
That really grinds my gears, makes my knuckles turn white at that comment.
How does me being thin have anything to do with my education or my ability to follow through with the holistic and the wholeness of health and wellness? Anybody have an answer? Because I don't. And if I don't have answers, usually I just make them up.
And that's the thing is the most comments I've gotten in the past year have been on my weight. Because I had 2 miscarriages last year back to back. So I had gained pregnancy weight, then I got pregnant again. And then I had like miscarriages, there's hormones and inflammation and stress and all of that. So obviously I had gained weight I was pregnant. That's what happens. And I had so many comments on my weight last year, how I was borderline obese, how my body fat percentage for nutritionists was an effing joke. Just recently I had shared a sideways shot of me. And someone commented like how I was spreading misinformation because look how inflamed you are, or maybe it's just a weight issue. Yikes. Like I get these comments about my weight all the time. And it's that because I'm a nutritionist, I'm expected to be stick thin, 6-pack abs, in shape at all time. But we forget that, like, we have this preconceived notion that if you're into health and wellness, you need to look a certain way. And that's not the case. Like, I don't need to have a 6-pack abs and look X, Y, and Z. Like, the average woman doesn't look like that.
Yeah. And it's because somebody else felt that you didn't fit the model that they had a pre-notion or preconception of that needs to be in there. Long goes the days of Barbie, everybody.
Like, we're in 2026. Do we not know that by now? It's like
body shaming is the lowest form of humanity, or shaming is the lowest form of humanity. I don't even want to say body. For women, it's just something you don't do, right? Like, women just struggle with that alone. But shaming, there's no need for it. Why are we shaming?
And what's really
These are the people that are doing affirmations, I swear to God.
And what's
Just
really
kidding.
interesting
I'm just
is,
kidding.
remember when I had that person come after me saying, like, I'm also an effing joke because I'm a nutritionist. I've had something like 8 miscarriages, like, went after my fertility issues and was equating me not being healthy and being a joke of a nutritionist because I have fertility issues. And it's such an ignorant comment because what you eat is one small part of your fertility and your fertility journey. And what we ended up finding out, Cris, is the person that wrote that was actually a practitioner in the health and wellness space. And it's like, it's so sickening to me that another person who's supposed to be in the women's health and wellness space could write that about another woman when we're supposed to be supporting it. And it just really comes down. Another person, like, it doesn't even matter. But it's the cruelty in the health and wellness space and the toxicity of perfection that I hate.
Because it's a business still. And everybody wants a piece of what you have. So it comes down to jealousy. So when people are jealous, they have one of two ways. They say, hey, you know what? I really love what she has. How do I get that? How do I earn it? And what do I need to do? Or they say, ooh, I'm going to go bash because it's easier. And I'm going to bash so much that other people are going to see things, and it's going to now deflate them as, let's say, a pioneer or somebody that's authentic in the space.
Yeah, they want to tear you down.
You have choice every single day of your life. If you are choosing to bash people, think again. Because that is what you're going to hold.
And the vibration you're going to stay in. If you are in that negative vibration of bashing and hate, like, you're just going to bring that right back around to you.
Yeah, it's not even worth it, right? So again, it's choice. It's your choice to go. I mean, there's comments I see sometimes once in a blue moon when I'm on social media because I'm checking something. There's comments and I'm like, oh my God. And I go to the comments.
Yeah, everybody does.
I go to the comments instantly and I'm like, I have to see this. This is so controversial.
It's a train
or
wreck.
This is whatever.
It's going to be sickening.
And I'm going. And I can tell if somebody did it for algorithm because they want to boost something.
Yeah, because it boosts
right?
your algorithm, all the comments.
Yeah, remember, negativity. Thank you for the negativity because you wanted to go and bash, but you built more algorithm. So, you're not even thinking things through. I say to my kids, if that doesn't resonate, don't. Because you know what? The more algorithm they do, the more they keep open with this propaganda. So don't go and do that.
It's like you have to, like, I think the issue is just you have all this bravery because you're behind your screen and you forgot there's another human being on the other side. And like, for me, when I had all of these comments in the last year about my weight and my fertility and all of the comments you could ever think of, it impacted my mental health so severely that I ended up in the hospital. And it took me months and months and months to recover.
It took the insecurities that you collected, you put in your backpack, and it just opened that backpack and it just shone. How many? Mm-hmm. Not one, not two, probably a few dozen.
Oh yeah, I have a whole bunch of them.
Well, we all do because it's someone down the line, and we believed it. So again, this is why, if I'm just jumping to affirmations for a second because they do irritate me, this is why it's like if we've constantly been collecting false truths, right, from everything people have told us in our past, why are we going to go and lie to ourselves? Because we're doing the same thing. So just love yourself. Be honest with yourself. It's okay. If you don't want the eczema, say, you know what? I don't love you on my skin. That delineates it from you. If you're going to go, you put a nasty comment, Why do you need the person to hear that is what I want you to ask yourself. Why do they need to hear this?
I always remind myself that it's like hurt people hurt people. So when like that's what they do, right? Is like they have something going on inside them that's making them feel like they need to bring people down to feel as crappy as they do. So that's that one thing that I do try to remind myself. It works some days it doesn't.
Yeah. And remember, at the end of the day, it's up to you if you're going to believe it.
And allowing yourself that it's okay to have that balance, that you don't need to be perfect all the time. Just like we tell our clients, have an 80-20, a 90-10, whatever that looks. It's like 80 or 90% of the time, you have control over what you eat, the things you do, the activities you partake in, and then allow yourself that 10, 5, 10, whatever that percentage of balance that you want. So like for an example, I eat organic and I eat super healthy and get my macros and I don't drink, all of those things, but I get my nails done. I go and get my hair done. Like I'm not perfect. I'll go and get French fries if I'm at a restaurant that I know have been cooked in canola oil.
She will definitely get fries at a restaurant.
And ketchup. Like if I am at like
it's like a double whammy for her.
If I'm at a festival in the summer, I will get French fries and ketchup. You see me, I will be eating those. And like that's
3 days in a row.
No, I wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
But maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I could. But it's like, before I would be so embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. But I'm like, you know what? F it. Like, I don't even care anymore. I'm going to give myself the balance that I want. And just because I don't fit into somebody else's mold, I don't care. Like, I know I'm a healthy person in the 1 or 2 non-conventionally healthy things I do. F it.
And healthy is a word that is like diet, that is like exercise, right? So that is like root cause. It fits in this nice little envelope of what we think it is and what we've determined it is, because how many clients come and say, I am healthy, and then we're like, okay, do you want to be healthier? Right? Because we're not going to go into deflate and say, no, you're not. Really, this isn't working for you. We're going to say, okay, do you want to level this up? Right? We could have easily said, no, you're not. Why would we say that? Why would we say that? Remember, we're the best of the best of the best health practitioners went through something. And that I will stand by every single day of my life, because they know the feeling. They know what it's like. I've never really had anxiety because I'm so headstrong, and just recently, but it's the pressure. It's the understanding of it. Again, it's the connection of it. It's gone in about 3 seconds, but it's like,
how'd you do that?
Why are you
24 hours a day?
Because I have some severe boundaries. I say you can live in this feeling, which really is ugly, or you can correct it by what's the best route to correct it? And what do I want out of it? Right? So if it's, I don't know, why am I worrying about it?
I've been dealing with anxiety forever, like since my childhood traumas and my adult traumas, they just compound, and I haven't been
I should have been your therapist.
You should have been, because I have been dealing with this anxiety for my whole life, and I know what the triggers are, and I know where it stems from, but I haven't. It's like I explain it like my insides feel like the upside down world in Stranger Things. It's almost like just black tar on the insides that I can't pull out, that causes all of this anxiety from these traumas. But it's like, you want to be my therapist as well for my pro bono therapist?
I have no designation to do so. So you know what? Just add to cart if you want some unsolicited, uneducated advice right here. Right? You just remember, everybody, there's something that's going on in you. Mm-hmm. There's a reaction and a behavior. So is the behavior, or is it part of the pattern? Right? So behaviors are only reactions. But why are we carrying the pattern? In order to change the behavior, you have to change the pattern. So everybody's a work in progress. Everybody is a puzzle piece to this entire world. And we're here to get interconnected, because there's something we can offer everybody and everybody can offer us. Doesn't mean I have to like everybody. It does not. I'm not going to vibrate at certain frequencies. I'm not going to do certain things, and that's fine. Right? And I think, what did you say to me today? Do you want to come to a birthday party? And I'm like, no.
No, and you want to know what's funny is I was like, do I even bother inviting her? Because I know she doesn't want to go. But I was like, I don't want her to feel like I don't want her there. I was like, well, F it. Because my husband's turning 40. And I was like, obviously Cris and her family's invited, but I know she wouldn't want to go because it's not her thing. And I'm okay. I don't take offense to that.
Because you said...
Because I know you.
You said you hate people.
I know. I was like, I know you hate people. I'm inviting you anyway, so you know you're invited. But I am not going to be insulted if you say no. And you're like,
and I have to continuously say to people, I don't hate people. I read people. It's different.
Yeah.
Right? And I do that because I don't want people to think I hate people. It's just putting me in a room full of 40 people, at which maybe 8 I know, is not something I need to do, because when you read people or when you're in a room and there's a lot of energy, my head's been zoom, 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 zoom all over the place. And then I'm like, gotta get up here.
Just send Steve. You know, he's the party animal.
He's the party animal. Yeah. So
He loves a good party.
Steve does all our sacrilege stuff, all the other stuff, right?
You send him in your place. Steve can go.
Yeah. So live your journey, love your journey, be your journey, not anybody else. You can't be anybody else. So why are we so desperately trying? Or if we can't be anybody else, why are we so desperately trying to bring them down?
And I'm curious on your thoughts of, you listening. Did this episode resonate with you? Did it trigger you? Come and share. Like, I would love for you to just pop my DMs, be like, hey, Katie, I listened to the pod today. This is what I think. I agree. I disagree. But just be nice. Don't be mean. Be nice.
Cris has gone crazy.
Cris,
listen, wouldn't be the first time I've heard that. So.
No, this is just her motto. All right, everybody. Another episode here at Keep It Clear. We will see you next week.